What is going on, Prophetic Weekly? I hope everybody's having a really, really good week. My wife and I just got back from Branson, Missouri with our 3 kids and some of our amazing friends that are part of our church. They're actually our youth pastors and also part of our health coaching community. We just had a great time, did a bunch of cool stuff in Branson, but I am ready to talk about Prophetic Weekly. There's been a lot go on this week. First thing I want to share is a word that came out on Elijah List this week by, actually it was a word from me. And when the word came out, it's kind of funny the way I know that I have a word on like Elijah List or Charismas, because I get hundreds of emails, messages and stuff about it. So, but it was about eagles. And basically I just had I won't go into it, just go read it on Elijah List. And actually it's on our YouTube channel. But it was a word that the Lord gave me a few weeks ago about eagles. Just eagles are rising in America and the nations of the world. And the reason I'm sharing this, it's so funny how many apostolic prophetic people have messaged me literally pictures of eagles saying, and these are people who are 40, 50, 60 years old, I've never seen an eagle in my hometown, but I just spotted one. I just saw an eagle for the first time on our property. I just saw an eagle. And it's really cool. And actually, the day after I got this word, I'm building my wife her dream house right now, and I went to the land right before we start the clearing the land and all. The day after I got this word, and there was an eagle sitting on top of a tree right where our house is going to be. Never seen an eagle in this region before. I never have. And then my wife saw one the day before I got this word from the Lord. And it's so neat how God works through all of this. So that was just a little bonus word. The first word I want to share with you that I got is a word by Lena Vawser. And she got the word, and it was really simple. It was real powerful. And it was, his yes is still yes. And she said she heard the Lord say that to her, that my yes is still yes. And as she began to pray, she began to see across the body of Christ, there are many people who have heard a promise from the Lord and been believing and contending for the promise for a long time, but it hasn't come to pass. And then she said that as she was even praying, that she saw like a giant that stood before the promise, and the level of the battle and the opposition that came against people had been so intense. But she saw and heard the Lord say, my yes is still yes, and you are going to have your breakthrough. One reason this word is so powerful to me is because the word yes is powerful to my wife and I, because my wife always says this, you have no idea what is on the other side of your yes. And so when you heard God say yes and you embarked on an opportunity, you have no idea what it really looks like when you step into it and walk into it. Here's an example. My wife and I, we about 21 months ago joined a health coaching program. And right before we started, my wife said, God, is this something you want us to jump into? Because when I jump into anything, I go, full send, full throttle. And we got an email inviting us to step into an upper leadership position inside of this health coaching community. It was an invitation. Now we have our own business, but if we wanted to step up into this, it would be a great position. And we asked our coach about it. He said, this is where they really spend their time with the top leaders of this company. The people over the company spend and develop the top leaders of the company. Right when we got ready to join, the Lord spoke to my wife and said, I don't want you to just join this company. I want to take you to the top of the company. And we got that email yesterday morning. And my wife, when she was and I were reading this, we said, wow, this is prophecy fulfilled. Because when we said, Lord, you have our yes before you ask the question, we felt he led us to this health coaching. And he spoke to us and said, I want to take you to the top of this business. When we got that email and we're looking over, it was an honor to be included, which means we're going to have a voice in the company. They're going to ask us our opinion and questions. We're going to be able to speak what we feel. And our coach said it is when they invite people that they really value and trust, and they want their opinion, and they only ask the people that they see going to the top, which was prophecy fulfilled. So I want to tell you that when God gives you something, if you haven't seen the full fruition of it, don't worry about it. His yes is still his yes. And then Lana goes on to say, she quotes two scriptures, and one, for all God's promises are yes until they are completely fulfilled. And another one is 2 Corinthians 1:20, for all God's promises have been fulfilled with a resounding yes. So when God gives you a word, He gives you something, you got to understand you have His yes, you just haven't seen it completely fulfilled. So walk in it. The next word was by Nate Johnson. Love Nate. And he said, pioneers, forerunners. Don't believe the bad report. The waters are about to break. Listen, let me tell you a funny story. We were in Branson. We were riding, bikes on this mountain bikes on this trail, and there was a place where there was a waterfall, and it was going over this path that was on the side. But there was an easy path. Y'all know I ain't gonna take no easy path. I looked at my 8-year-old son. I said, son, follow your dad. He said, all right, Dad, let's go. So we're riding our bikes, and he said, but Dad, we're getting off the trail. I said, but see, there's actually another side trail, and where the water breaks, there's a small waterfall. It goes across this other trail. Let's ride our bikes through it. And when we started to ride our bike, it's like the water was parting, because you had to ride your bike fast right through this trail where the water came off this little waterfall and it was flowing through it. It probably looked a little scary to an 8-year-old. And we rode right through it. It's just like this. The waters are about to break, y'all. Y'all hear me? The waters are about to break in your life. Don't believe the bad reports. And let me just prophesy to America right now. I don't care what you think have gone on the last 12 to 15 months. The waters are about to break. I'm seeing it all over America. There has been more lies fed to us by the enemy, by the media, by social media, by the news, by politicians. The waters are about to break. You're about to see America restored. Do not believe the bad report. Things are changing. And so that's what Nate was talking about. He said he just sees just things changing, the waters breaking. So pioneers, don't be discouraged. Next word is by somebody that I don't know personally. Her name is Donna Rigney, and she had a really good word, and it was, we're in the days of glory and greatness. The reason I like this word is because recently I've been telling people, I just feel like greatness is upon you. I feel like greatness is upon you, and I feel like the glory of the Lord is about to increase in kingdom churches and with kingdom believers. So as I was reading this article actually originally came from the Elijah List, and this is what she wrote. She said, these are going to be the days that what we declare are going to be the things that we see in the days ahead of us. So speak your future, prophesy to your future, make declarations and decrees. And this is what she heard: days of glory, days of greatness, days when my beloved, I will be known by them, and I will perform miracles. And she just went on to say that the Lord spoke to her and said there will be many encounters, many visits from the heavenlies. There will be many miracles and a greater glory poured out on all mankind. Yes, and all the glory, evil will be exposed for what it really is. Now think about what I just prophesied, that waters are about to part. Evil's about to be exposed. I'm just going to tell you, Saturday morning, I just woke up and I haven't had that much peace in my life than I can ever remember. Friday morning, I had a lot of peace. Thursday morning, I had a lot of peace. Over the last 5 days, I have slept so good. I feel a peace in my spirit, and I feel revival breaking out all over America at a greater capacity. And so I'm telling you guys, greatness is upon us. The glory of the Lord is upon us. The next word is by somebody else that I don't know this person personally. Her name is Stephanie Claiborne, and she is from Alaska. God bless you in Alaska. I'll stay in Texas. Okay? And she just put, the crushing will lead to extraordinary. And I just want to just let you know through experience, whenever God uses somebody greatly, they have been crushed greatly. I've had more what I thought were spiritual fathers, spiritual sons stab me in the back. In fact, I was stabbed last week. It's okay. I just took the knife out and gave it back to him. You know how that stuff happens. But hey, it only makes you stronger, okay? I remember one time years ago, I was in a moment with the Lord, and I said, God, why do you use me so greatly? Why do you use me in so many business adventures and so many ministry things? And the Lord said this: you always say yes, and you heal quickly. Okay, so to the amount that you've been crushed, you will be used by God. A lot of people don't like warfare. A lot of people don't like the crushing. Get over it. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Look at Jesus Christ. Look at Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Look at the way that he died. And yes, he, was beat. He was whipped. He was nailed to a cross. He had the crown of thorns. But listen, even Peter turned his back on him in the last days. Of course, he repented and came back and preached at Pentecost. But how many people walked away from Jesus? Even the ones that he came to save are the ones that put him on the cross. And so you got to understand this. People will hurt you. Situations will go rogue on you sometimes. It's okay. You're going to be fine. And she just goes on to talk about that in great length, just about when people are crushed, it's don't worry about it. Don't get bogged down in the afflictions and the things that's happened to you, but keep on going because God's got great things for you. My good buddy, Ryan Johnson put this. I'm just going to share the first part of it. But God is about to restore better than before. I remember at the first of the year, Prophet James Gull came out with the word. He said the first 4 months of the year, there's going to be a lot of turmoil in America. The next 4 months are going to be pretty good. The last 4 are going to be great. What goes along with every word that we've had. This powerful word James Gull shared at the first of the year goes along with what Ryan Johnson was sharing, that God is going to restore better than before. James Gull also prophesied one time at the first of the year that we're going to have, this sounds charismatic, cliche, but I'm going to say it, double for our trouble at the end of the year. I'm just going to tell you, the way things are going for a lot of kingdom believers, it's ridiculous right now. Walking in favor and a blessing like just unbelievable, just unbelievably great. And so this is why when you've been crushed, get up. You're going to be okay because you're going to be restored better than before. Chuck Pierce had this word. This was real good. Actually, right before I did this word came out. Like the post said 6 minutes ago, and so I got it and I shared it. But it said that it was just talking at first. He said that when Yahweh was with his disciples, he taught them and showed them the kingdom ways. And then he said, we are about to experience a new church, the rising of a new church, the kingdom church, the revival church. And so I just want to speak to you for a moment about this, that we're about to see. Actually, I was on vacation this week, and while I was on vacation, my mind was clean, my mind was clear, and I was just, focused on my family, and I still get up in the morning, have my quiet time in my devotion, and my perfect intake of coffee. But then the Lord started speaking to me about when you go back home, everything in your church, Roar Church, is about to change. And even just today, I've had about 3 or 4 of my friends reach out to me and say, God just keeps telling me that Roar is going to turn in more into a revival hub than even a church than ever before. And we have more of a revival hub, a house of prayer than anything. And so I just want to encourage you today that God is raising up a new church. God is raising up revival hubs. God is raising up just a powerful movement. And so you need to be around a place where the glory of God is welcome, the Spirit of God is welcome, just signs, wonders, and miracles, because that's the God church. All this other stuff that you see, it may be good, it may be entertaining, you may get a good sermonette, something like that. You might even get you a little donut. But I'll tell you what, you got to be around the presence and the power. I don't eat donuts, by the way. I'm a health coach, y'all. And so you got to understand, you got to get in there with the Lord in this hour. Be a part of the new church. Be a part of what God is doing. He's creating something. When Jesus Christ came to the earth, he came to teach and preach and manifest the kingdom. That's what apostles and prophets have been talking about for the last few years, about the shifts and the transitions that were coming in. This is the now season. This is the time that we're going to be able to do the kingdom work. So I want to encourage you today. Be plugged into the Lord. Being in the right revival hub, being in the right church right now is very important. Love you guys, and I hope this helped.